this just bothers me. It bothers me that we're not talking about this. The other day, after New York Times posted an interview with 3 top choreographers in the dance world, let's just say Twitter blew up. Christopher Wheeldon, Justin Peck, and Alexei Ratmansky are 3 leading choreographers within the dance world. But when they were asked one question, I think they failed at their answers. So the question was, most of the major choreographers in classical dance are men. Why is that? And then we get 3 responses. Justin Peck says, there needs to be more encouragement and support for women at an impressionable age to explore that choreographic side of their brains. Christopher Wheeldon says, there is such an obvious imbalance. I'm not sure why it exists and persists. In my experience, directors today are seeking diversity and would love to present the work of female choreographers, so I don't think overt misogyny is at work. Alexei Ratmansky says, I don't see it as a problem. Besides, Crystal Pite, Jessica Lange, and Annabelle Lopez Ochoa are among the very best now, and Graham and Nijinsky are still performed. I'm sure that if new, interesting talent arrives and is a woman, she will have equal opportunity. Then that's where we're so incredibly wrong. Just this year, Cincinnati Ballet made a huge deal about how half of their rep is coming from a female choreographer and half of their repertoire is coming from a male choreographer. That's a big deal. Why is that a big deal in 2017? Because there's a clear imbalance still within the dance world and female choreographers and male choreographers. So for Ratmansky to say that there's not a problem is just totally wrong. Yes, Justin Peck and Christopher Wheeldon do acknowledge that there is an imbalance. They're not giving a solution. They're just like, oh yeah, that exists, and moves on. Which brings me to the next segment of this whole thing is, why is it that there is an imbalance? The first reason why there's an imbalance is the fact that we are not acknowledging that there's an imbalance. Let's face it, the second reason why there's an imbalance is because men do control the ballet world. See, what's ironic is that the ballet world is seen as this female world, and it's all about the ballerinas, but also on a practical level, look at where all the scholarships are going. Because yes, there are fewer men within the dance world, that means that they're rare and they're more sought after. And unfortunately, girls are not seen as important because they're almost indisposable because there's an oversaturation of female dancers. So when you look at a school and they're thinking, who can we give scholarships to? They're gonna give it to a guy because they want to encourage more males to be dancing. So more of the resources are going to the males in the first place. The second part of that is that the treatment of the males is totally different than the treatment of the females. Because there are fewer males within the dance world, they're going to be treated like kings. For the girls, they're not. And that's sad. And that brings me into my next point, which is because the women are not being treated like kings, in some ways, it instills a lot of fear. All the classical works are all women being in a court, all together, all identical. But the way women are treated within the dance world is stay in line, be on your count, don't move. And so because of that, it actually takes away from the idea of let's go adventure and be different, go out of your space and create something different. Look, the biggest thing about this interview is that a lot of it was texted in, Skyped in, and some of these guys here, like Alexei Ratmansky said, oh, well, you know, I texted in my response between rehearsals. I didn't know it was gonna be such a big deal. Well, look, even if you're gonna text it, even if it's going to be a soundbite, even if you had 2 sentences, it should say, there is an imbalance. We need to change that. That should be the answer, because we do need to change that. Look, we can talk and complain all we want about why there's an imbalance, but the biggest thing is, how do we change that? How do we change the dance world to actually have a balanced lifestyle and a balanced female and male choreographer where it's not really that big of a deal. Because clearly it's a big deal. I'm making it a big deal. The first thing is, make it a big deal. It's 2017, people. It's time to wake up. Share these articles. Go on Twitter. Go on social media. Make a big deal about this. We should be making a big deal about this. The second thing is that Justin Peck, Christopher Wheeldon, and Alexei Ratmansky are truly really great choreographers. I love their work. I've seen it personally. I'm not saying anything against them. I am just saying that we need to be proactive in our spotlight of female choreographers. Third thing is as a male dancer, you have to pay tribute to why you got there. As a male dancer, it is not fair for me to say, oh, I did this on my own. Yes, I did work really hard for what I got, but at the same time, there's an asterisk. I am a guy in a dance world. Like, I'm going to be treated well. Like, I would not have become a professional dancer if it wasn't for all the scholarships, if I wasn't treated like a king, because I wouldn't have gotten the attention that I did as a male if I was a female. And that's facts. It's so much harder to be a female in the dance world. So you have to, as males, if you want to see that change, you need to recognize where we come from. And for the people like Justin Peck, like Christopher Wheeldon, like Alexei Ratmansky, who are the top of their game, who have a huge pull and influence within the dance world, for them to give answers like that is just incredibly disappointing. Because at the end of the day, the people leading the industry need to lead it. And they are the ones that are going to direct where the industry goes, right? And so if these are the top choreographers and they are not really showing any sort of sympathy, but just kind of like, yeah, it exists, and not showing any proactive desire to help or create programs or to mentor females as choreographers, well, that's exactly where it's going to go. We need to be going after and being proactive in mentoring females as choreographers so that in years to come, we can have an increase of female choreographers. I want to start the conversation again. Why is it that female choreographers are not here? Are they here and they're just not getting exposure? Please comment below. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on why there's an imbalance in female choreographers, and B, what are the solutions? I would love to hear some solutions, and I'm all for supporting any sort of mentoring programs and or female choreographic workshops, whatever it is. I want to hear it. I want to see it. Because at the end of the day, I want to see a balance between female and male choreographers. Please share this video. Shed some light on this topic. That is all for the vlog today. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weeks. Kill it. Boom.